What's up, folks? Straight out of the bed, I am in Goa, where everybody is late to a party. So is this Mahindra and so am I. But then this party today is happening at a club in Goa and it's called Club Compact SUV. And though late, there is an important personality who is on the VIP guest list, and that is the Mahindra XUV300. The Mahindra XUV300 is then based on the X100 Ssangyong platform. But gone is the Ssangyongness, for the Italian design firm Pininfarina is once again called in to do a bit of metalscaping. Gone is the Ssangyong's face, for in comes the Mahindra signature grille and double barrel headlamps. And gone is the Ssangyong back, for in comes XUV300's own set of LED tail lamps. And then there are the 17-inch diamond cut beautiful looking wheels that buff up the stance. So the takeaway here is that though looks are subjective, the XUV300 here is not as radical as the Tata Nexon, not as funky as the Ford EcoSport, and yet not so conservative as the WRV or the Brezza. And through that, I've just told you the competition that the car goes up against. So the XUV300 then is a sub 4 meter compact SUV, and that's the other takeaway. Please take it away. Now, when you're inside this cabin, one may say that the insides of it is a little conservatively styled, and I would say that only because, well, the dash, though it's good looking, seems to be slightly outdated. Now, once you're at the steering, everything seems to be falling right to your hand. The ergonomics are very, very good. All the buttons, the gear lever, or then even the handbrake. No wonder Gaurav Gill was really belting the XUV300 the way he was belting the XUV300 in the video that went viral. The main takeaway on the inside then is these beautiful well-contoured leather seats that have great bolstering and seem like they are from a segment above. Back here, let's talk about space. This is the widest vehicle in its class, so 3 averagely sized Indians are going to sit comfortably out here with good amount of leg room. But what's not going to work for me as an owner is, of course, these white interiors which tend to get dirty very soon. There are no rear AC vents, there are no power sockets at the back, so how am I going to charge my mobile phone? The boot space is not a whole lot, it's just about the size of a Grand i10. But Mahindra knows their market and audience very well, so the XUV300 comes loaded with features to the brim, and a quick scan through the brochure will tell you what all features, but then I'm here to tell you which ones are actually usable. Godsend then are the front parking sensors, especially if you live in cities like Mumbai or Kolkata, which are crammed up. Well, parking and maneuvering through traffic is going to become that much more easier. Also making life easier is dual zone climate control. Yay! First time on a mass market car, you and I are going to see dual zone climate control. So while I get to be in Goa here in this seat, you sitting by my side can also be in Shimla. And of course, if you or I happen to be in Shimla, you also get heated side view mirrors to defog them. And if you or I happen to be in Shimla or Goa, well, then the roads are very narrow and treacherous. So in come the 7 airbags and 4 disc brakes. Apart from that, you have this beautiful sunroof, and then you have automatic headlamps, automatic wipers, cruise control, keyless entry, color customizable instrument cluster, 3.5-inch multi-information display which shows you average speed, driving time, and also the direction that your front wheels are taking. Speaking of displays, of course, you also have the 7-inch infotainment system which comes with Apple Android Auto CarPlay. I can't get it up to here. Though this sound system is brilliant to sound, it's not as intuitive as the Ford Sync 3, for example. But enough of the small talk, let's get down to the business, which means let's get driving and let's get to know the engine. I can't get it up to here. Up to here. So the engine in the XUV300 is the same one as seen in the Mahindra Marazzo, the 1.5-litre diesel unit, which I quite liked in the Marazzo. I actually quite like the Marazzo too, with the 1.5-litre diesel engine churning out 115 horses and 300 Newton meters of torque. So the takeaway, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's a good 100 Newton meters more than the Vitara Brezza, and that it's a good 40 Newton meters more than the top-of-the-line 1.6 Hyundai Creta. This then is the most powerful car in its segment, and it pretty much shows on the road, because after hesitating a bit under 1500 rpm, which is the turbo lag area and which is the takeaway that you shouldn't take away, past 1500 rpm the car shoots off, putting up a good show against bigger, pricier cars like even the Hexa. Which then makes your overtaking maneuvers very easy because of, well, faster in-gear accelerations, almost making you think that you are Gaurav Gill when you're overtaking. But then you're not Gaurav Gill, so you slot your car into 6th gear like I have right now and comfortably eke out 19 to 20 kilometers to the liter. The engine too is quite refined, but what's not so refined maybe is the NVH levels. I think they could have been slightly better. And what happens when the going gets a little twisty? Well, that's where Mahindras are said to be falling apart. Not this one, thanks to its widest in-class footprint, which surprisingly lends it good body control and dynamic abilities. So rest be assured, this is not a Scorpio that's going to topple at the hint of a hairpin. And of course, when you do push into corners, then the ESP has your back. Now you can literally at the press of a button toggle through different steering modes: sport, comfort and normal, where normal feels pretty normal and sport should weigh up the steering a bit more. The difference is really small. I'm unable to tell which mode I got the steering in, but then again, it's a trick up its sleeve. The XUV300 as of now doesn't get automatic variant, but soon it will get, we know that. But right now it gets a 6-speed manual gearbox, and the shifts work well, but they're not as precise as, let's say, the Ford EcoSport. All Mahindras are really good at great ride quality, so this one really flattens out every bump and every portal out here on our Indian roads, and I quite like that. Now, despite the good handling, let it be known that this one is more on the softer side, like is the case with all Mahindras. It's got a soft suspension, but that helps you glide over bad roads really well. What is really good is the fact that this car comes equipped with 4 disc brakes, and so the braking is phenomenal, helping the XUV300 stop on a dime. Remember, it also comes equipped with ABS and EBD, so you don't really have to worry, and just go ahead and stand on the brake like this. Alright then, it's time for the mother of all takeaways. But before I do that, I want to talk about a few things that this car is not so good at. That is long distance journeys. Allow me to explain. People sitting at the back over extended hours are going to think that they don't have enough headroom, and then if you're going on long journeys, you're going to have a lot of luggage, but then you don't have enough boot space. Rear seats are 60-40 folding, yes, but then if there are people sitting at the back, you're not going to be able to fold them. At the front, the armrest is not slidable, and both the footwells are very cramped, and you have no dead pedal. So long thing short, ladies and gentlemen, the mother of all takeaways is the fact that all these things can be looked down upon and will make one frown. But if priced right, there is no fight. The XUV300 will still take the crown.